What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are doing our match preview versus QPR versus Portsmouth, live at Loftus Road, Friday the 21st of March. The season is almost over. Flipping now, it's just even quicker now, man. Even March is getting quicker. Jeez. Yeah. Anyway, so Loftus Road, we are at home against Portsmouth. Obviously, the away fixture was a 0-0 draw, I believe it was. Let me just double check that because I might be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. Head to head, it was actually 1-1. So tell a lie. It was actually all Portsmouth, to be honest. Goals from Dunn and Devlin. I actually remember it now, to be honest. So yeah. But yeah, let's get involved and see what happens. Anyone in the chat? Anyone there watching? Anyone there? I don't know if anyone's there, to be honest. Let's see. I don't know if anyone's there. Hello? Hello? There we go. I can see my view. There we go. Just let you know, I haven't watched a full match preview yet with Julian Stefan. It's 10 minutes long. I already got 3 minutes into it, to be honest. So I don't know much what he's saying, but just saying about how he liked the personality of his team on the weekend against Leicester. So yeah. All right, let's just get straight into this then. We'll get through this now. So as I said, we got Portsmouth at home. Loftus Road. Obviously, last result against them was at Pompey, drawing 1-1. Devlin scoring the goal for Portsmouth. Jimmy Dunn, like I said, scoring for us. It was kind of the downfall of QPR from that day, to be honest, on Boxing Day, where we didn't look great. I'll be honest, we looked really bad, and we have been since then. The last game that we can all say that we actually enjoyed properly was obviously Leicester at home. Obviously, you know, coming off of a 3-1 win against Leicester away last week was really good to see. You know, we've needed it 100%, not just for the fans, but for the players as well. You know, goals from Harvey Vale, an own goal from, obviously, Leicester, and a final goal from, I believe, it was Ronnie Edwards. So, yeah, we did go down that one. Really poor defending, really absolutely bad. Yeah. Oh, Scotty says, what's good? I'm good, man. How are you? Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you're having a good evening as well. Hopefully you're looking forward to the game on Saturday. We will be live, obviously, on Saturday from 2:45, watching QPR play Portsmouth. So, yeah. But what is it to say about this game? I'd personally say right now, obviously, going into this game, it's a bit of a positive side. You know, we saw QPR play really a lot better in this game. I'm not saying it was immaculate. I'm just saying it was a bit better with the attacking, a bit better with certain things in the second half as well, such as defending-wise. There's still things to work on. You can see that 100%, but hopefully this brings a bit more confidence in the players, in the game, just making sure certain things happen, such as goals and defending. Keeping clean sheets would be great. I know a lot of people want Joe Walsh and some other players not to be on the field. So yeah. Scott says, going finally got a ticket for standing area. So happy. Is it that hard to get tickets now there? Is it really that hard to get tickets at QPR now? Jeez, damn. Scotty says 3-0 win on Saturday. Okay, fair enough. Big positive boost there by Scotty. Well, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the chat anyway, and to the channel. But yeah, so obviously, you know, we're coming off a great win against Leicester, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. You know, the positives are there, and we need to go into this more like how we did in the second half against Leicester. You know, the first half was pretty decent, but yeah, we know what kind of game Portsmouth do. We've played them already, obviously drawing 1-1, and it's basically down to the players to fix up and go from there, really. Obviously, I'm just looking for where is it? I'm just looking for this just so I can see what we was kind of looking at when we played them away. So looking at this, obviously they were all over us in possession wise. You know, they played a very possessive side. They did. First half was all them. We weren't in the game whatsoever. Second half we had glimpses. We looked a lot better in the second half. But if we go to recent form with Portsmouth, where we need to know more. Obviously they're in a bad form as well. You know, they've got 4 losses out of 5, 1 draw. Their last game was at home to Derby, which they lost 1-0, and you know they literally out dominated them in possession with momentum and still didn't get a chance on goal. You know, the goal came from Smodix from Derby, and that helped Derby to win that game. That goal was scored in the first half as well. Swansea beating Portsmouth away. Same again, Portsmouth dominating the game. Expected goals were there as well, but Swansea doing the job. With Blackburn, it's a very surprising one because Blackburn obviously dominated that game. Actually, no, Portsmouth dominated the game. Blackburn had a little glimpse, but it looks like obviously they're still playing obviously the same football as we expect. And this is what's going to be, you know, this Mousinho likes to play very attacking and very possessive football. He does. You can see that in his game plans. Now, it looks like, for me, if he's playing this attacking gameplay, the plan is literally maybe holding high up the pitch, you know. I think that's why they're conceding a lot of goals and losing, because obviously they're very high up the pitch. They're not defending well. They're getting counter-attacked a lot at a chance, which we're not great at. You know, we did have some good opportunities. Well, Harvey Vale did score a very lovely goal in the first half against Leicester. Would I call it a counter-attack? Not much, but it was a ball over the top. So, yeah. But realistically, they're going to come at us with attacking-based football, possession. They're probably going to play the ball a lot more in their half than ours, I would say. They're going to look pretty much for the wingers, like last time when we played them, where we saw them attacking out wide and coming in. And then obviously crossing the ball a lot is something that they do as well. You know, set pieces is a lot. You can tell by the ratings. If you can see that in the top, on the right hand side, you know, their wing backs are the highest ratings this season. 705, 718. Devlin. You know, obviously Devlin's got 5 goals, 1 assist this season. He's had an incredible season with goal scoring for a right back. He's done really well. You know, there's goals all everywhere pretty much on that team. Wingers, centre back, midfield, and attack. You know, the thing is, what you can understand is that how a game plan is when obviously you see the goals. So, you know, their goals are not actually coming from up front. Their goals are pretty much coming from set pieces and probably long range shots. You know, as you can see, Brown is only with 1 goal, 1 assist. Chaplin, 1 goal, 3 assists. Ali, 1 goal, 1 assist. Caballero, 1 goal. Adams, 3 goals. Pack, 2. That's literally defensive midfield. So if they're doing that in defensive midfield, you know it's coming from a threat from a set piece or a long range shot. The defender wise as well, you know, Devlin pretty much goes and runs up the wing and pretty much shoots from anywhere. So we've got to be careful with that. Swanson, I'm not too... I think if I remember correctly, he was very dangerous against us, Zach Swanson, when we played them at their ground on Boxing Day, when we did our watch along then. He seemed very exciting, he did, but I'm more worried about the sense of what we're going to do at home. You know, as you can tell by the title of this, the title obviously refers over to pretty much basically our new player, our new signing. You know, a lot of talks are going on at the moment saying that he will be ready against Portsmouth, which is a good thing. And if you're not thinking who I'm talking about, I'm actually talking about our new signing in, I believe it's OBIKWU. I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just remember. Yeah, Justin OBIKWU, who obviously has been signed from Coventry in January. You know, very highly rated at certain clubs where he's played, and basically he's not been noticed whatsoever at QPR so far, just because of, well, injuries, as they're saying. Now, obviously, whether it's injuries or something else, fair dues. But the best thing about it, which is positivity on this one, is that he was actually seen today in a video of QPR, but Ilias Chair wasn't. So the likely chances are we're probably going to see him on the bench, the new signing, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he can do something for us for the remainder of the season. I don't expect Burrell to return anytime soon. Hopefully, we do get to see him at the end of the season, but right now, it's all about staying in this league and making sure we finish a bit more higher than we can and winning as much games as we can as possible. From right now, I would say every game is a must-win, but we all know what that's going to be like, so yeah. Hi Nick, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Hopefully you're having a good evening. Yeah, so for me right now, I would say he should be on the bench on the weekend against Portsmouth. You know, obviously they been talks of him playing against Portsmouth, and we'll see what happens. But positively, he was seen in a video today on QPR social media, so that is a positive. Sorry, people. Sorry, barking dog. My apologies. Yeah. So, I'm doing good, man. Honestly, positive result it was on the weekend. So I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I've got, like I said, I'm positive majority of the time about QPR, but like I said, it's a bit of a downfall when obviously, you know, you're not in form. You're having a bad games. You know, we haven't been absolutely. You know, we've been atrocious pretty much since January. We could say December, but yeah. For me right now, like I said, I like to see this this striker on the bench on. Sorry, people, fucking dog, this bloody dog. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I like to see this striker definitely on the bench for sure. On Saturday, especially at home. It's going to be his debut against Portsmouth, if it is, and at home. Relax. So yeah, but where was we? Yeah. What are you barking at, dog? What's wrong? What's up? Relax. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't really see much of what Julian had to say, you know, because obviously he must have brought something up about him in the preview, in the match preview, what they put out on YouTube. Just ignore the dog. It's going to continue barking 100%. But yeah, I would personally state right now, I don't see certain players coming back. I don't see Ilias Chair coming back this season whatsoever, you know. It's a bit depressing, but I generally don't know what's going on with him. No, there's no talk whatsoever. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Be nice to see OBIKWU and OBIKWU play maybe second half. You know, listen, I like the game plan right now with what he's doing with OBIKWU, and it needs to stay that way. I know a lot of people might not like that, but honestly, it has to stay that way. It's the only way that we're going to be seeing him play in a QPR shirt for this season. So yeah. Right now, like I was saying, you know, apart from that player there who hopefully is going to be on the bench, you know, we got some strength coming into the team. It's good to see, like, obviously certain players looking a lot better. You know, I keep saying Kone, but obviously this whole week hopefully is a real big rest. You know, I know us catch 3 minutes, and hopefully Julian has kind of said to them this and that. You know, obviously we're gonna probably hate the formations he's gonna put out there, 4-4-2, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm gonna say this. I really think we can beat Portsmouth. I feel positive. You know, I feel like we're probably gonna get less possession in this game, but let's not focus on that whatsoever. I think for us, we need to make sure we attack like we did in the second half against Leicester. make sure that we are scoring goals again, coming back, and also making sure the defense compared to that first half against Leicester is not so open for certain shots, because this team does take long shots and they will score in certain areas. So we need to make sure we close the gap easily and quickly. And then Benge, and if Davis is playing on that wing back, they need to be on form, and honestly they need to be concentrating, because right now my main concern is that right back scenario for us. So yeah, I think realistically, we should win this. We should win this. I'm feeling positive. I think we're at home. It's hopefully a good sellout, and hopefully we get the 3 points and we go up the pitch, up the table. Yeah, again, you know, we have strength coming back into the team, but it's going to be pretty much a rest of the hard season, I would say, for us. But yeah, don't know what your thoughts are. Leave your comments in the end of the video, what you think the score prediction is going to be, and also what your thoughts on the new signing, if he's going to play or not, what you're looking forward to. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up the match reaction. You know, we don't need to focus too much on what we need to do. We need to focus more on what we're going to improve doing, you know. So yeah, haven't watched Portsmouth in their last games, wasn't good at all, but then again, injuries have hit them hard like us. Like I said, you know, Marcinho plays this possession ball, which constantly is on the attack, so we need to be concentration on there, and we need to defend properly, and we need to attack in the right timing and in the right moments. So yeah, but hopefully Loftus Road, if it's going to be busy, it's going to be noisy, we can get in there and beat them 100%. So yeah, players to watch out for Portsmouth. I've almost forgot about that. Like I said, Devlin and Swanson, if they play, they're going to be really fast and attacking on the wings. Connor Chaplin, obviously everyone knows about Connor Chaplin, but he's not exactly been great in previous seasons. I think majority of it is on the bench or injured. So yeah, obviously Colby Bishop, very good young striker. Well, very good striker, I should say, not young. John Swift, everyone knows who John Swift is. Jordan Williams, a very championship defender. But yeah, we'll see what happens on the weekend. You know, apparently Ali's apparently good as well on the right. You know, they got Marlon Pack. I don't know much about Abu Adams, but yeah, we'll see what happens and we'll go from there. Nick says, I think 2 or 3-0 to us. Okay, very good, very good. Very confident, Nick there. Good to see that as well. But yeah, I can't really... if I could play the preview, I would, but honestly, I just don't really see the point of it. I'll probably watch it rest later and we'll talk about it, say, Saturday before the game and go from there. But before we leave, I think everyone noticed when Harvey Vale got in. Obviously, we got the information that he was switching from England to Ireland. I think everyone kind of thought, all right, cool, there must be a reason why it's happened now. He's actually just got his first Irish call-up, which is great. We've got another international playing for Ireland. Absolutely brilliant. It's going to help him. And yeah, I think congratulations to him. Fingers crossed he doesn't get injured on international duty, and fingers crossed he does really well and enjoys himself. So huge outs to Harvey Vale. And yeah, I'd be honest, I don't think there's anything else. There's not been any notice of any other players chosen whatsoever yet. But yeah, I think it's good for him to get that international scenery on his resume, and it's going to help us as well with future plans for him. So yeah. Wilco says, I think it'll be 4-0 to QPR. Nice. Is it Republic of... It is Republic of Ireland. It's not Northern Ireland, it's Republic of Ireland. I think it's the same as Jimmy Dunn. I think Jimmy Dunn's Republic and Portsmouth's Northern, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on Saturday. You know, Harvey Vale, it's our last game before international break, I believe. And we'll go from there. So yeah. Anyone got any concerns? Obviously, I know there's no news on injuries, like I said, on Elias Share or anything like that. So yeah. I think I've covered everything today, to be honest. I think I've covered pretty much everything. I think that's all good. I'm just a bit, I will say this, I'm a bit worried about Kieran Morgan. I am. You know, a lot of people obviously seeing the good things in him. And there is great things in him. But the problem is, you know, there is times where he can just, you know, give away the ball. So yeah, I'm not trying to single him out. I know it sounds like I am, but I am a huge fan of his. And I really want him to do well at QPR because I have much belief in him. You know, he did so great last season. But this season, you know, I know he got, they say he got the assist for the second goal for QPR on Saturday. But it was a lovely ball. But yeah, if we can see more of that, like we did last season, I'd be really happy to see that, you know. So yeah, unless it's nerves getting to him, I don't know. But yeah. Apart from that, like I said, leave your predictions in the comments below, and we will have a look at them on Saturday, see what we can do. Apart from that, have a lovely evening. Peace, love, positivity. Oh, hang on, Nick just put something. We'll have to buy a crystal ball to see if there's anything, because ain't gonna hit fuck all from QPR. I know what you mean. It's bad, but listen, look, we will hear something soon, hopefully, on any news for QPR. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like button if you want to. It does help the video push out a little bit more, and it does help the channel. Subscribe if you want to, and we'll catch you on the weekend, Saturday, 2:45. Don't be late. Come on, you ass. Peace, love, positivity. Catch you on a bit. Peace.